Hey everyone. I'm sure people will roll in a bit. And I know there are others that are going to catch this on the replay. Beautiful. Hello, G-Fan. How you doing? I hope everyone's holiday was quite nice. As you can see, got some nice stuff here. Hey, Maki. Hello, Parrot Head. And hello, Bone. And hello, Boo. Who's going to make an appearance just in a moment. Come here. Come here. Hello, Stillwind. There you go. And there's the little Boo. And David Meyer. Honestly, I'm still not feeling well. I'm taking the moment to just because this needs to be talked about. Yes, the mascot is currently at my side. As you can just see, it's awesome tail. But yeah, honestly, still not feeling well. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I've been achy, been waking up with migraines. Yeah, generally, sneezing a lot, that kind of stuff. But let's talk Wonder Woman. And I figured, got 2 hours before the Dark Council goes live. Let's do it now. And screw it, we'll do it live, right? As those of you who saw, I have been a fan of Wonder Woman my whole life. I grew up on reruns of Super Friends and the Wonder Woman TV show with Linda Carter. I've seen pretty much anything she was attached to. I've seen it. Animated movies, even the rare TV appearance, that kind of stuff. And I admit, I squeal every time, if it's Linda Carter making an appearance, even when she was the president in Supergirl. Loved that. You can curl up on the computer, just don't hit the button. Thank you. But, so seeing everyone's reaction, everyone saying how it's trash and all of that, I admit I was nervous and hesitant about it. Now, I don't trust critics. I never have, never will. Seeing over and over again people going, it's trash, it's garbage, I admit, it hurt a little, because she knocked it out of the park with the first movie. And I think that's the main problem. We've said over and over again about respecting the original character, the original actors, the original characters. And, the fine line about appealing to the hardcore fans and to the normies. And from somebody who could easily be defined as a hardcore fan. I loved it. I loved it. I completely applaud her for the work the layers actually that went into that. Which I do recognize. I'm sorry, they're working on the apartment above me still. I do recognize a lot of the minor things. The things that admittedly made me squeal with excitement probably got lost on a lot of people. Diana's clothing, outfits in the entire movie, her streetwear, that's straight out of the TV series. I was sitting on the panel at Fandom when they first released the trailer about the movie, and and I'll get into all of this, but yeah, they mentioned that Linda Carter was a consultant, and that statement confused a good number of us. I understand it now, because the entire movie is basically an homage to the original series. Like I said, from the outfits to the guy that, spoilers for anyone, the guy that Steve Rogers came back in as. Not Steve Rogers, Steve Trevor. Ooh. Bad fangirl. The body he came back as is the spitting image of the guy who played Steve Trevor in the TV series. Like, really, it's like Sebastian Stan and Mark Hamill. You could put the two of them side by side, the picture of the guy from this movie and from the TV series. It's remarkable. The two kids from the mall scene, both of them are actually reminiscent of children she's interacted with and little girls she's actually helped empower in various animated movies. I'm glad I'm not the only one that caught that. Because I've noticed Patty Jenkins has a real gift for adding in layers of stuff. And I'm noticing a lot with a lot of the DC movies. That there's quite often layers that are easily overlooked, but for those who are looking for it, it's gold. Quick sidetrack. Like Birds of Prey. They had her groundhog. That was alone, just loved it. Because that was a gift from Harley's first boyfriend. But yeah, getting sidetracked. Okay. It might not. I know it doesn't get a lot of people's approval. I loved it. I know another one of the things that I've seen people going back and forth on is the jet and the flight. Now, we saw her already levitating in the first movie. And when she turned the jet invisible, like I actually have a Little People's invisible jet around here somewhere. I can't remember where I parked it. But when she turned that invisible, my heart, oh God, I just, there was no words. I loved it. It's beautiful. I love DC Comics combinations of previous versions of the characters into current versions. Very nice. Yeah. This movie was that perfect completion, especially with that debate I'm talking about right here. You see, pre-Infinite Crisis in the comic series, she needed the invisible jet to get around. Post-Infinite Crisis, her background was retconned into being the daughter of Zeus. So she was given the ability of flight. And we do see that in the Justice League cartoons, the various animated movies. We have seen that over and over again, where she flies like Superman. And one of the few that actually I'm not as fond of, largely because I just don't like the choice of what they did for her hair. The hell? I have no idea what that is. Is Red Sun Superman. I would have been fine with I loved the white outfit. Yeah, there's some weird noise. Yeah, that made the cat jump. I can't figure out what it was. But they gave her a white dress, and honestly, I loved that. It was beautiful. My problem was is they made her hair white too. I was not as fond of the white hair. Beyond that, she was just every ounce as badass as she always is. And yeah, I apologize this for I need to touch up my hair. So you guys are getting to see the bear hat. I know another point of contention was her mentioning how Maxwell Lord was representing Donald Trump. I see it. Throughout his entire career, since he surfaced in the 80s, actually, in the early 80s, he has had, and this is not a political thing, let me get that right off the bat, I barely care about politics of my own country. So, but this is all fact, you can Google this. He has had a number of side businesses with mixed success, more often than not very successful, which, yes, did include oil. And oil specifically in North America. Seriously, this is something you can Google, was Trump oil. And they hit some pretty hard losses. So I think that was the angle that she was aiming at. But for the most part, I liked his character. He represented very strongly what the standard 80s drive was, which is, I had the feeling that's what the angle was going to be with him, and it was beautiful. Like I admit I'm older than I look. I was a child in the 80s. So I do remember a lot of that. My dad actually was a businessman back then. He tried starting up a business in that time. And yeah, there was a huge drive that you can have it all type thing. Let me see. Honestly feel she wouldn't let herself fly because it was the one thing that amazed her about Steve. When Steve said goodbye, her flying symbolizes her letting go. That is chills. That is excellently put. I love that. The fact that, yeah, she taught her, that she got the hang of it by remembering his words. I love that. And I think that actually pretty much emphasizes your point, G-Fan. Favorite example of DC animation combinations, Batman versus Ninja Turtles. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. With all the Batman references, seriously, Batman is in this movie. Neat. I'll get to the Batman movie another time. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was not. I heard many people say it was boring. I didn't find it so. Another one of those things that I caught that I loved was the repeated cat print or cat references in all of the scenes with the major character, in the scenes with the major characters, and how quite often when Barb was at the museum, there was usually a cat right behind her, symbolizing what would be her eventual change. Even the fact that she immediately recognized, like, admired the cat print shoes on Diana. Just, it was little things like that, make me smile. And I know I don't understand. I've heard people say it was boring. And I don't get it. I just don't get it. I love the story. I even love how the whole Steve Trevor thing, with him coming back in what's referred to as the handsome man, it is so reminiscent of the beginning scene at the beginning of the movie, and how she took a shortcut, and that's why Antiope stopped her, because she took the shortcut. She was cheating. And it was the same with if she had kept Steve Trevor. I still find it cool if Max Lord was a combination of Donald Trump and Steve Jobs. You know, a little bit, yeah. I admit I don't have as much background on Steve, like knowledge off the top of my head, background on Steve Jobs. Yes, it was. Life is good, but could be better was the slogan of the 80s. That was even in the dressing scene where he's getting dressed and he puts the t-shirt on, which, yes, again, a cat print t-shirt, and the jacket over top, pushes his sleeves up. He's like, I see people doing this on TV. Miami Vice. Subtle Miami Vice reference, Could they have picked some more iconic 80s music? Absolutely. But they even brought back a lot of the iconic actually businesses from the time. The shop where the girl shoplifted at the beginning of the movie. Apparently that was a very specific Seattle icon. A lot of the businesses seen in the mall were also very iconic at the time, even if they don't exist around today. But yeah, remember, hit that like button. I am trying to come up with more stuff to talk about here. And if anybody wants to pop on, just give me a heads up. I can drop you a link. As my little one runs towards me. Ooh. Apparently I gotta go. Sorry, guys. Okay, that was a boomer moment. Missed call. Some random person. And I'm back, though. Hang out with Christy long enough, you're going to have these moments occasionally. So you know what? Yeah. Do we have a VHS tape reference for what? I mean, I have a lot of VHS tapes. Currently still, actually. Hello, David. I'm just here. Let's have an honest discussion in the movie. There probably was. I definitely will go back and watch it again. Because, like I said, there are many things that I missed. And I know there's things that I missed, but I really enjoyed the movie. It is going to be one of those I will go back to over and over again. Because I love the overall story. I love that the message at the end was truth. And speaking of the end, the ending scene, you have both of their kids and Gal Gadot's husband in that snowy scene. In fact, the two kids that hit her with snowballs while they were playing, is Patty Jenkins' son and Gal Gadot's oldest daughter. The youngest daughter that she was actually pregnant with during the Wonder Woman reshoots of the first movie is seen on the carousel with her husband. I still think if Cheetah was shown like in the first Super Friends cartoon, slowly developed into the cat-human hybrid monster. As much as I love how they had her in the 80s in that cheetah suit, I think that actually would have taken away from the character at the time. I mean, come on, nobody really wants to run around with animal ears. But seriously, I think that would have taken away from the character a bit. And they did, in a sense, do a nod to it, because as she's developing more into Cheetah, she is quite more often donning animal prints and furs and all of that stuff. Even the black dress has subtle shadow animal print. I honestly, yes, I did see Mark's video on that. And that is one of those, I want to say, gray areas. Because Steve Trevor was the one in control of the body. That is... Oh, Film Gob. Yep, Mark with a C said it too. Yes, the two of them, after being reunited after how long, they do, have the adult situation. And granted, yes, technically it's not his Wang, but yeah, that is... I don't think it takes away, in my opinion, it doesn't really take away. It is one of those, like the sibling kiss in Star Wars. Or if you really think about it, it's icky and gross. And that's the best analogy I can give. Overall, I thought it was really good. And as Steve recognizes that she is losing herself to this wish, he's quite often kind of, yeah. Actually, he was a little upset that she didn't ask him out for coffee or something. When she met him at the end of the movie, especially when he was subconsciously wearing the outfit that she had picked out for him. I loved the movie. I know I've said it. I I can't say it enough. The magical possession. No, I do think it really does matter. And truth for me, normally my idea of chick flick is 300. But I honestly, I think the whole idea of it was just it's a morally gray out because he was the one in the driver's seat, so to speak. You think about the golden armor. The golden armor. I would have, and Nina did touch on this, but I granted I'm with her. I would have liked a quick scene of her finding the armor, but I understand it's already a long movie for your average person. I loved the golden armor. Honestly, I would love, of all of the Wonder Woman 84 dolls, that's the one I'd love to get. I am a big fan of Wings. I love it. I love it. And the armor is gorgeous. Like eventually, right here, I would love to have Wonder Woman and Cheetah, the Wonder Woman in the golden armor and Cheetah, which I totally want to make over. But this is me starting to digress because I love the Cheetah doll. I've seen the sculpt underneath her. The sculpt is as beautiful as they actually made her look. But I wanna the doll itself. The face is all pixelated, and I want to give her fur, not a suit. Consider questionable fan service, like many hentai scenarios, leaning like that one talking about Steve versus Wonder Woman. Okay. I really hope that scene doesn't overall destroy the movie for everybody or for so many people. Because the movie itself, for me, was absolutely beautiful. Seeing Barbara become stronger, but also lose her warmth. I liked that. That was fantastic. The other thing is, I would have liked a more clear definition as to which god was involved, because that is always a big thing with Wonder Woman is the god story. And maybe I missed it, but yeah, for me it wasn't as clear. And as it is, I'm running out of things to say, but by all means, if you haven't seen it, please do see it. And do it how I generally do. I go in open-minded. I quite, I've heard it over and over again. This movie is hot garbage. This one is, various ones. Aren't most of the gods dead? Well, even if they are, their artifacts are still kicking around. it's a blockbuster. They want to sell it to China. They can't be specific with the God and order. True. And for me, again, it's that catering to China. That's that one that. For me, that's the one thing that the story misses out on, is not mentioning which god. And I understand having Gal Gadot, they are already losing a sector alone. But it is what it is. And like I said, for me, there is a few people I am still awaiting responses who have the same knowledge level, like 24/7. I'm still waiting on his review, and I honestly keep bugging him about it because I want to hear his thoughts. But by all means, yes, go in not caring what other people think. Make up your own decision. If you haven't seen it, do it with your own eyes, as if you haven't heard anybody else say anything. And honestly, I debated back and forth about doing this, because I know not a lot of people in our community, like the movie. And for me, it's always nerve-wracking standing out on a ledge. But this is one I will do it for. At least it's not as bad sounding as Transformers 4, where it suddenly turns into, look how great China is, the movie for 40 minutes. I'm not even sure if it's the right movie. But I know in one of the Transformer movies, I watched a bunch of them with my ex. And honestly, the only one that really stands out is when you got all of the army guys jumping out of the airplane or the helicopter. There I am singing in the background, "It's raining men." My sense of humor. You guys should be aware of it by this point. Most complaints I hear are with the CGI effects. That was the one that I know a lot of people were nervous about, or hesitant over, was how we saw Cheetah in the trailer. Now, they didn't give us that clear pause moment that we did see in the movie. They gave us like a 2-second glimpse of her mid-action. And that was the point I had raised over and over again. I think she turned out beautifully. I loved it. Yeah. Stream was a nice surprise. Didn't like the movie, no, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Honestly, I did. I am now, forever and forever will be, a Wonder Woman fan. Same respect, I am a Phoenix fan as well. And one of the only movies I still to this day makes me angry is the original Phoenix movie. Hello, Laura. It's funny how just as you're going to wrap up. I'm running out of stuff to say, so this is why I generally, quite often like to have other people with me. Let's see, we got find those movies, not as good movies, a bit more Michael Bay being like, how can I make this movie and have the producer say it looks good? Yeah. Explosions and making money. That's Michael Bay movies. Hello, Zachariah. Yeah, no. I've been feeling miserable for the past couple of days. But having a brief moment of, while I'm looking for my allergy meds. Hello, Anza. If any of you guys want to pop in, we could talk Wonder Woman. Give me a heads up. I can drop you drop you guys a link. This is why I love you, Dino. I was the same. I had a coworker of mine that just was in love with Avatar. Over and over again. That's all we talked about. I hated it. It was Lion King in space. Or Pocahontas or whatever. It's not an original story. I'm not getting into that. I don't know if it's just something in my brain that makes me not automatically click the way most people do with James Cameron movies. Because I've seen it with Titanic, I've seen it with a bunch of his movies. Whereas most people, they'll see it over and over again. Most of the time I'm like, okay, I saw it. It was okay. I did like the movie. It's flawed but fun. And the more bad reviews I see, the more I like it, ironically, right? I think it's one of those movies that it's not so much mindless entertainment. Because there's a lot of stuff, there's so many Easter eggs, planted in that movie. Just that alone, I really encourage this to be watched more than once, because there's a lot of stuff that can easily be overlooked. And in fact, actually, you will see that there's a number of channels that I've also seen reviewing on stuff that are easily overlooked from that movie. And I admit there was one or two things that actually I missed. Just checking. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I going into the movie, I had already received a spoiler that I'd already seen a spoiler that she was going to be in it, and that's my fault for not catching it right away. Not watching the movie right away, but life happens. But still, seeing her, and the fact she's like 70 and she still looks amazing. Oh my god. I can't even lie. When we were hanging out at Fandom and they referred to her as Mama Bear, I'm like, so essentially to share a nickname with Linda Carter is absolutely beautiful. The thing that made my whole year. Honestly, that was my original thought too. When I saw the armor, I know the golden armor is actually part of the Wonder Woman lore. There's part of me that thinks that was kind of an also not a callback to Hawk Girl. Maybe it's just the way my brain works, but yeah. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Thanagarians popping up soon. Yeah. And I've said it for a number of times about James Cameron, that it wouldn't surprise me if somebody analyzed his movies and found that there was some sort of optical illusion or whatever that tricks people into watching them over and over again, which would explain why I can be one and done with them, because optical illusions don't work on me. And I actually had somebody send me one earlier where it was, stare at the three dots on this reversed picture. My brain is hardwired a little differently. Those things don't work. Hello, subhuman. Like I said, if there's any thoughts, any questions, or anybody who wants to hop on, give me a heads up. I will happily drop you a link. Like I said, I'm running out of stuff. But it's nice to have a conversation. Still a huge JSA fan. I'm happy we finally got them adapted. Made me murdered in the first 30 seconds, but yes. I admit, Dark Apocalypse was hard for me to watch. The Dark Apocalypse War. Watching so many of them get killed off, and that was hard. Seeing Cyborg at the end, too, it's just... Yeah, future projects coming up are going to involve them. Which I'm sure a lot of you are going to be absolutely thrilled about. I am hoping that this will help expand out my channel, though. Oh, and this one is also going to be worked on because she needs a bit of a makeover. But I finally got the body in. And that one is going to be a bit of a surprise as to how she's going to turn out. But I'm going to be making up rooms for each one of them to fit in the cubbies behind me, where it can be storage, but also pull out. Wonderful. More questions. Do you like Wonder Woman 84 more than the first movie? And honestly, a little bit, yeah. I like the first movie with the whole origin story and the no man's land scene, which I know he did not want to put in, which was funny that it almost did not make it into the movie, and it is one of the most iconic scenes. But welcome, Senate. But yes, with this being more, it's being more to the how Wonder Woman actually goes. Yes, I love that. Seeing Cheetah as the iconic villain with her. The Lex Luthor, if you will. Now, that wasn't a 100% accurate how Cheetah got her powers, but still, it was well done. A little bit, yeah. I'll admit, in the 2009 animated Wonder Woman movie, which actually has a scene I referred to earlier, with one of the little girls that is pretty much a spitting image of one of the girls from the mall scene. She faces off in Ares in that one too, and again, I'm not sure why I always struggle with her versus Aries. Maybe it's the whole idea of you can't really wipe out these gods that influence these things. I don't know. I've always struggled with the Wonder Woman versus Ares storylines. Giganta. That would be my first hope. She's another one of either that or Cersei. Cersei is another, and that's the name I keep circling. I've seen circling around as Cersei. And it would flow a bit more into the 84 storyline. But I admit that part of me just wants to see Giganta on the big screen. As a redhead. Shoot, I'd like to make my own Giganta one of these days. I appreciate that. I only know the Flashpoint animal. No. How she was in this movie wasn't exactly 100% her character. And in this case, I get it. She had that opportunity that many of us wouldn't be able to pass up. We all have that person we miss. Yeah, sorry. We all have that person we miss, and she did what any one of us would do, unknowingly, in just as much the same case. She didn't know that was a wish stone. That was the dream stone. It was just one of those idle thoughts. And again, spoilers. My apologies. But yeah, Senate, go into it, because you will hear both sides. Both people saying they hated it, and the few people like me saying they absolutely loved it. Yes, it did drop from its certified fresh. Again, I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. In the entire time The Last Jedi was out, not The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, the entire time that was out, its numbers never changed. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. And I know. That's why I say eventually I'm going to make her. They do Monster High, like 17-inch dolls. And I will get my hands on one of them one of these days and make a Giganta. Yes. I'm going to find my allergy medication and sign off. And I'll see you guys all later on The Dark Council, which is hosted by Abu Nas tonight. So, for those, remember, smash that like button. If you're new here, feel free to go subscribe. And hit that bell for the notifications, especially if you're into customizations or various crafts. This is one of my few movie reviews, and because it had to be said. But I will see y'all later. Love ya. Hit the right button.